Hey, what is going on, everyone? In today's video, I want to talk about blueprints, weapons, and armor in Once Human. Now, if you're a new player to Once Human, the blueprint system may seem a little intimidating, but I can assure you it is not hard to understand. We'll cover everything from how to get blueprints and blueprint fragments to how to level up your weapons and armor to get the most out of them. I also want to thank Starry Studio for sponsoring this video and allowing me to help educate the newer players in Once Human. So if this video does end up helping you out, definitely drop a like and comment down below to help support the channel. It really helps keep me motivated to make the best content possible for you guys. Alright, so here is everything that we're going to cover in the video on the screen. I've put timestamps down below if you would like to skip to a specific part to find the information that you need. So first off, what are blueprints? If you hit I on your keyboard and head to the blueprints tab, you will see all of them here. And blueprints are basically how you can unlock new weapons and armor in Once Human. You can obtain blueprints in various ways that we'll cover in just a minute, but they are going to be a focal point for you when you are trying to make your character as powerful as possible. Blueprints aren't the weapon or armor items themselves, and that's important to remember, but they do unlock the ability to craft those items at a gear workbench. So let's start with how to actually get blueprints. There are a multitude of ways that you can find and craft blueprints in Once Human. In the early game, you can earn blueprints through various story quests. This helps you experiment with different weapon types early to find out what fits you best. In addition, you can also unlock basic blueprints pretty early in your memetics. For those that don't know, your memetics are basically your skill tree, allowing you to unlock the ability to craft everything from new pickaxes to new base structures. So if we head into the memetics by holding tab, going to our cradle, then clicking on memetics, then heading over to the crafting tab here, you'll see on the right side, you'll unlock your gear workbench, which is very important. And then the first one after that is going to be your basic gear. It'll give you some blueprints for all these basic items here. And then you can also unlock a few other ones with some other nodes in the memetic screen. So the game makes it easy early on to get a variety of weapon types, but at some point you'll definitely want to get better weapons and armor. This is where it's important to know that other than a few basic blueprints, every blueprint in the game is made up of blueprint fragments. You'll need to earn enough blueprint fragments to fuse them together to create a blueprint. So if I wanted to craft this crank assault rifle right here, I would need 60 blueprint fragments in order to do it. So you can see that by this puzzle icon that's right beneath the title, it says 0 out of 60 fragments. And just to let you know, weapon and armor blueprint fragments are separate, so you are not able to use armor blueprint fragments on a weapon and vice versa. You can easily see this by seeing the numbers on the right side here while I'm in the weapon blueprints, and if I click on armor blueprints, these numbers change. So naturally, you might be wondering, how do you actually get blueprint fragments? Well, there are a variety of ways that you can earn them in the game. When exploring settlements, you can find mystical crates that can give you blueprint fragments for specific weapons and armor. Now, it's important to note that mystical crates can only be looted once. So if I go to my map right here and I head over to any of these settlements that I haven't been to yet, for example, this one, you can see that it says in the objectives, look for mystical crate. So I have not found this one yet. Once I find that mystical crate, it will not respawn. And then you can also see find weapon and armor crates. So if I find those weapon and armor crates, I will be able to get them again at some point. They will respawn. And I'm actually going to be making a video on some of the best crate farming spots. So be sure to subscribe to get notified about that video. Now, another major way to get more blueprint fragments and blueprints is by utilizing the wish machine that you can unlock in your memetic screen. So if I hit O on my keyboard, go to memetics, and if I just search for the word wish here, you'll see it pops up. It's going to be under the logistics tab, and you're able to unlock it right here. The wish machine uses the StarCrom currency, and it gives you two different options. You can either spin for blueprints for a small amount of StarCrom, or you can enter the blueprint shop to purchase blueprints outright with larger amounts of StarCrom. So if we head into the wish machine right now, you can see it is giving me two different options. I can either make a wish, which is spinning for items, or I can enter the blueprint shop. If I go into the blueprint shop here, you can see it costs quite a bit of StarCrom, so you can save up and try to get any of these blueprints for yourself, and these are guaranteed. These will not be rolls. You will get this blueprint directly in your blueprint screen. Now, if you choose to spin for blueprints, you'll have different probability for getting different rarities of blueprints. The wish machine will present you with different prize pools, and prize pools typically have a specific number of prizes available. I'm not going to go very in depth about the wish machine for this video since this is more about blueprints, but I'll be making an in-depth wish machine video in the future. If I hover over any of these prize pools and click the little eye icon right here, you will see it will actually give you all the chances that you have to get those specific types of blueprints. So you can click into each one, you can see if it has a 5% chance, 10% chance, or whatever that percentage is, and you can go through each one to see what your odds are. So you might be wondering, how do you actually get StarCrom in order to use the wish machine? Well, they have a handy little guide over in the top right if you click on the question mark for the wish machine here, and it will tell you a few of the ways that you can actually get some of the StarCrom. So season goals are definitely a good way to do it. If you click on season goals here and we go to phase 1, you can see by completing some of these season goals, you're able to claim some rewards over on the left, and some of those rewards include StarCrom. That will be active for all of the different seasons in the server. Something else that you can do to get more StarCrom is something called territory purification. So you can actually get something called cortexes, or on PvP servers you can get echo stones, and you purify them in something called a Stardust resonant filter. So you can build this by going to your build menu, going to facilities, function facility, and then it's under special right here. Once you build it, all you do is access it right here, place your cortexes or echo stones in the purifying vessel, and you will see the output of StarCrom that you will get. Now, it is highly recommended to build defenses at your base when you're doing this. The reason for that is based on what you put in the purifying vessel here, different level enemies and different waves of enemies will come and attack your base. Once you complete those waves, you will get the StarCrom output here. Now, it's important to note that there is a weekly purification limit. You can only do this 40 times per week, so you are limited in the amount of StarCrom you can get in a way, but this is a really good way to get StarCrom, and it is a lot of fun. Another way to get StarCrom is through the Prime War. Now, there are no Prime Wars on my map currently, but you will see it pop up on your map, and these are essentially group events where you can have, I believe, up to 40 people. Everyone gets together and attacks a giant boss. Once you complete that specific Prime War for the first time, you will get rewarded with StarCrom. Every other time after that for that specific Prime War, you won't get StarCrom, so just know that the first time you do a Prime War, you will get StarCrom for it. Another way to get StarCrom is by going to any of the settlements on the map, and you will be able to find this person right here, Severin. Go into his shop and you will spend Stellar Planula, which you can get from completing Morphic hunts and side tasks, and if you get 100 of it, you are able to purchase a StarCrom crate. You can only get 8 of these per season, but that is another way that you can get StarCrom. You can also get some extra StarCrom by hitting F3 on your keyboard, going to regular event. You'll see community rewards where you're able to follow the Once Human accounts on all the different social platforms, which will reward you with small amounts of StarCrom. You can also bind your Discord here so that you can get even a little bit more of StarCrom. And even in the Battle Pass, you are actually able to get quite a bit of StarCrom in the free tier. Also, if you have participated in the Gather Friends event, if you don't have an invitation code yet and you're below level 10, be sure to use my invitation code on the screen right here as long as you're in the North America region. And if you get friendship points from this event, I have a whole video going into it that I'll link in the description. You're actually able to go to the friendship shop right here and you can buy StarCrom crates, which are 2,000 friendship points for 1,000 StarCrom. So now that we've covered how to get blueprints, let's talk about upgrading your gear to be more powerful. There are a variety of ways that you can upgrade your gear in Once Human. Firstly, each blueprint in the game has multiple blueprint tiers that you can upgrade to. Every time you upgrade a blueprint tier, the stats for that weapon or armor item increase significantly. For example, this weapon right here has a damage increase for every tier that you upgrade to. So this is tier 1 right here, and we can go all the way up to tier 5. The number of tiers a blueprint has corresponds to the rarity of that blueprint. So for example, this common blueprint I have here only has 3 tiers, while this legendary blueprint has 6 tiers. In order to upgrade a blueprint tier, you need to use blueprint fragments from an item in the same weapon or armor collection. So for example, I have 80 blueprint fragments from the Wanderer collection, and I have this blue Wanderer assault rifle right here. So if I right click on this, you can see it gives you two different categories here. You have blueprint fragments from blueprints that you've already unlocked, as well as blueprint fragments from blueprints that you haven't unlocked yet. So I actually already have blueprint fragments for this weapon, so I'm able to use this weapon to upgrade the weapon of the blueprint that I already have. So for example, if I click on this right here, you can see down here it says 120 out of 120 XP. I'm able to change the amount of fragments that I want to put into this blueprint in order to upgrade it. I'm going to max it out. I'm going to click F to hold to enhance, and I have now upgraded this blueprint, and it is now a 2-star blueprint for this Pioneer assault rifle. Now, once you've upgraded your blueprint, you now have two other ways to make your gear better, and they're both available at the gear workbench. You have gear tiers and calibration. The gear tiers available to you are determined based on the level of gear workbench that you're using. So you can see, for example, right here, I can craft gear tier 1 and 2, but if I try to craft gear tier 3 or 4, it says I need to use an intermediate gear workbench. If I go to tier 5, you can see I need an advanced gear workbench, and these workbenches are unlockable in your mimetic screen. And lastly, to make your gear more powerful, you can calibrate your gear at a gear workbench. So head to a gear workbench, hit J, or go to the calibration tab, and you'll see your already crafted items over on the left side here. You have weapons and you have armor. Calibrating your gear will boost its stats, and you will also be able to unlock calibration attributes, which give additional perks to your weapon. However, the amount of attributes available is dependent upon your gear tier. So for example, this weapon right here is currently at 0 out of 4 weapon calibration, and you can see the calibration attributes right here. You have 3 different calibration attributes, and these unlock based on calibration level 4, 7, and 10. You can hover over this eye right here to see that. It says when the weapon calibration level reaches 4, 7, 10, you can activate an additional calibration attribute. So if I upgrade this to 4 right here, I will get the accuracy plus 12 and stability plus 6 attribute, but because this is only a tier 1 weapon, I'm only able to upgrade this to 4. If I were to upgrade this weapon to another tier, a higher tier, I would be able to calibrate this even further and get these other attributes. So I know that's a lot of different ways that you can upgrade your gear, so let me try to summarize it. Firstly, you want to use blueprint fragments to upgrade your gear blueprint. Once you've upgraded your blueprint, you'll want to craft your gear at a gear workbench. The level of gear workbench you have will determine what gear tier you're able to craft, and once crafted, you can upgrade your gear further by calibrating it at a gear workbench, keeping in mind that the calibration attributes available are tied to the tier of your gear. Most of the armor in Once Human has something called set effects. This means that if you're wearing multiple pieces of that same armor set, you'll get bonuses because of it. So for example, this raid set right here that I have, this face mask or this helmet, you can see it says set effect raid set 2 out of 4. So I am wearing the helmet and the gloves from this, so I'm only getting the first 2 bonuses. I get gathering speed plus 15% and max load plus 20. And for example, another piece of gear here is the rustic shoes. So I'm wearing 2 pieces of this. I'm wearing the chest piece and the shoes. So I get the first 2 bonuses of movement speed and melee damage. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the armor set effects in order to optimize your damage and your output. So just some other tips to keep in mind are that sometimes when you are exploring the world, you may get a weapon from looting a crate. So rather than getting a blueprint or blueprint fragment, you're actually getting the weapon directly to your inventory. It's important to note that if this happens to you, it does not unlock the blueprint and the weapon cannot be repaired. Basically, this is how the game gets you to try out new weapons and encourages you to try to unlock the blueprint for that weapon. You may find a legendary weapon, for example, that you love, and when it breaks, you might feel more compelled to try and get the blueprint for that weapon. That's something that definitely happened to me during the betas for this game. Also, when using certain weapons, you may see that there is a highlighted keyword in the description for that weapon. So for example, this AR right here has the Power Surge keyword highlighted. So you might wonder, what exactly does Power Surge do? If you right click on the weapon in the blueprints or even in your inventory, you can go ahead and just hover over Power Surge. It tells you exactly what it does, and then you can actually hit X to view all the keywords in the game and what they do. And lastly, if you're wondering how to get certain pieces of gear, you can actually hover over them in the Blueprints tab, and it will give you a high-level overview of how to get those items. So for example, this item right here, it says obtain from Wish Machine, so I know I can't find this out in the world and actually get the blueprint for it. I need to get this from the Wish Machine, but if I hover over this item, you can see it says obtain from mystical treasures discovered from exploring the Lone Wolf Wastes. And that's all the basics that you need to know about blueprints and weapons and gear in Once Human. If there's anything else you would like me to cover, please drop a comment down below. Also, if this video ended up helping you out, a like and comment would be greatly appreciated and really help support the channel. I really appreciate all the support on my channel with Once Human. You all have been so amazing, and I really can't thank you enough. If you'd like to join our Discord community, we have a ton of players in there, and we'll be organizing some fun events in the future, so I highly encourage you to join. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and feel free to subscribe for more Once Human content. Thank you for watching.